If you're a big sports fan just like I am, there is nothing more than you love than a sports doco, in particular one that goes behind the scenes of whether it's a club season, a club rebuilding, a player's career. And that's exactly what the AFL have done here. They have opened up the curtains and taken us behind the scenes of the AFL final series with their new Amazon Prime video documentary called The Final Siren, where they followed a couple of players like the Drive to Survive series, directed by the same people, following along the of a few key players that played a big part in the finals series and just key figures in the game. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to review it and I'm going to give a rating at the end of this. So let's get straight into a documentary that I thoroughly enjoyed in AFL's new Amazon Prime videos, The Final Siren. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Up the Guts channel. And yes, The Final Siren has been leaked for a while. Now it's officially out as of last Friday. I managed to knock it out over the weekend and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. So first of all, it follows the likes of a club. So first we follow Toby Green, Marcus Bontempelli, Touk Miller, Cam Rayner, Gawn, and Dayne Zorko. Those are the 6 players they follow. And while Gawn wasn't followed through the final series, it was followed through the end of the season where they were struggling, and then the departure of Simon Goodwin. The first episode based around Toby Green and Marcus Bontempelli. And let's not beat around the bush. These two don't like each other. While they've got Noldo and probably after Origin settled any differences they had, on the field, they really dislike each other. There is no hiding or beating around the bush about that one. And what I loved showing here is I've always been a Toby Green fan. A lot of people wouldn't be because of his personality, the way he goes out in the games, but he has that don't give a shit or give a fuck what people think attitude. And that I like those type of people. Just anyone who likes that goes about it, but then while they don't give a shit attitude, they back it up with performance. For example, as a Collingwood supporter, my favourite player of all time is Dayne Swan. He had a don't give a shit attitude, what people think about, but he went out and backed it up with his performance on the ground. A Brownlow medalist, 2011 Brownlow medalist. That's one, for example. Toby Green is like that, but to a bigger extreme because he has the fines and the suspensions. Most fined player in the game. And then you go to the other edge of Marcus Bontempelli. One of the best players still in the competition as we speak, but yet to win a Brownlow medal. Has a premiership, multiple best and fairest. I think it's 6 or 7-time All-Australian, and just absolute dominant of the game. I currently have him as probably the number 2 player behind my boy Nicky D. But what I loved about the Toby Green, it took you behind the curtains of what he's like. He's a real family man with his little girl. And I really like his partner, his fiance. She keeps him on a fine edge and she's really strict on him. But when you took it behind the curtain, especially at home, she even said, people would think Toby's this angry little person, but she actually finds it hard to get him angry at any little thing, even at home or whatever it is. And then you go to the Marcus Bontempelli. He's more of that laid-back character, has his own little coffee shop, Arthur's now. But how's Marcus Bontempelli's car that he drives around in? An old Ford pickup truck. I don't know the quite brand. I know my dad did say it, but I can't remember what type of brand it was. But that just shows the type of player he is. He's behind the spotlight. When he's on the field, he's called the Bont. But he prefers to be called Marcus when he's off the field. If that doesn't illustrate someone who, when he's on the field, he means business, but when he's off the field, he's just a laid back. And I couldn't respect that so much more than we could have. Respect that any more than we already do. But there is no doubt those two did not like each other. But I really liked the first episode they talked about their rivalry they had, with Toby Green saying he wouldn't have a beer with the Bont. The Bont saying when there's any little push and shove, Toby's right in the thick of it. That was the Toby Green and Bont scenario that's been very, very well documented. One of my favourite parts in the whole documentary actually came from Toby Green after he lost the finals game. The final game. It was when they're in the rooms, they're coming back in the rooms, his daughter and fiance are there, and she goes, "Go make your dad happy." And he picks up his daughter, hugs her, give her a couple of kisses, then goes, "Daddy was fucking shit tonight." That was one of my favourite parts of the whole doco. It was just so funny. But they were all class. I absolutely loved that. And then episode 2, we went to the more emotional side. Enter Nat Fyfe. Nat Fyfe's an absolute legend on the game. He's a 2-time Brownlow medalist. But what hangs over his head is the fact that he is not a premiership player, and that's why he went around another season to hopefully, because he thought they had the team to win the premiership, or at least challenge to win the premiership. His body's cooked. We see it throughout it. He takes that, it's like a resistant band or like a band type thing that activates his shoulders. Walking backwards, I believe he said, helps his, was it his ankles or his calves? So when he goes for his morning walk, for parts of it, he'll walk backwards just to activate it, shoulders to keep it activate, and then he'll go for his morning swim. But we saw what having a career like the Nat Fyfe had can have a toll on your body. There's no doubt he is a superstar, but the way he's played with no care for his own body has come back to bite him on the ass, really. But it was an absolute showing of someone with commitment. He was just wheeling and wheeling himself to get back out there. Then he'd get back out there, he'd do a soft tissue, and he'd get back out there. He pulled his calf in a warm-up as the sub, and then he goes, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." So we did that. Was the corky after, might have been after or before, but he'd corky himself during a training session when he thought he was getting right to go. Every time he thought he was ready to go, some niggle kicked up. Then he got sent to the waffle. Just picture that. An AFL, a club legend, a 2-time Brownlow medalist, Nat Fyfe of the Fremantle Football Club, getting sent back to the waffle, the seconds. You don't see that. And then the conditions that he was playing in was absolutely absurd. It was pouring, it was raining, it was muddy. Players were targeting him, giving him elbows left, right, and centre. Took him a while to adjust to it, but once he adjusted, he absolutely dominated. John Longmuir rewarded him with a match the next time. While he was there to try and get that final fairy tale, he wasn't able to do it. And this is even when the emotions come into play. When he was carried off the ground, he says it was like they were picking me up and celebrating the fact that I'd failed. That hit the hearts. That the fact that he's won 2 Brownlow medals, he's gone out and lost by 1 point in an elimination final, and they're carrying off, celebrating his career, yet he's saying they're celebrating a failed career. That one was like, oh boy, that one really does hit home. But Nat Fyfe, you cannot knock the commitment that he has to playing for his club and to try and get the final fairy tale. Unfortunately, he didn't get it, but what a career he did have. And one player I didn't really want to quite touch on, I didn't want to quite touch on, but I thought he played a minimal impact in the whole doco, was Max Gawn. Max Gawn obviously was there purely because the sacking of Simon Goodwin and the heartfelt that they had on the troubles that the Melbourne Football Club had. What we can't knock on Max Gawn is he's a good leader and he's an ultimate competitor, and he hits you right between the lines. He's a no bullshit type of leader. He'll tell you how it is. As he said at the end of it, he goes, we need to start learning how to win. Fuck the other shit. We need to start learning how to win. And that was just a real illustration of the type of leader and captain Max Gawn, and he's perfect as a leader. I love that type of shit. Sometimes I think Max Gawn can get a bit of hatred from players, but I think that's also because he's arguably the best ruck this game has ever seen. And because he's so good, people love to hate people that are really good. I would argue people didn't like Dustin Martin for people who weren't Richmond supporters, because he would dominate your club and he was so good and will go down as one of the best finals players to ever play. Max Gawn is like that. The best ruck this game has arguably ever seen. I think it's 7-time All-Australian after all the injuries he had earlier on in his career. To come back like that is a phenomenal effort, and what a leader and a career of persistence is what I would say there. Then we headed over to the Queensland with Dayne Zorko, Cam Rayner, and Touk Miller. Now, a lot of Dayne Zorko and Touk Miller ones was about the rivalry they had, and they're another two people who don't like each other. We've seen them go back and forth. Touk Miller, whether he was tagging him, whether they were just playing on him, the rivalry that they had has been a really, really good watch, and it's probably built up a lot of the, what do they call it? They call it the showdowns? I'm not quite, just kind of slipped my mind. I think it's called the showdowns. Anyways, the two, when Gold Coast and Brisbane play, it really built up that. But what we also went into was the likes of Touk Miller being there since the get-go, since he was drafted, having the captaincy, and then the tough conversation Damien Hardwick had with him saying, look, we're going to go with another way, and we're going to go with Noah Anderson as the captain. And he said that took a while to understand, get used to, and that one, you really did feel that. Then we also met his dad, who is full of energy, he made the catchphrase of all gas, no brakes, and he's just an absolute lovable character. Then we had Dayne Zorko, someone who's been written off for years, was a mature age pickup, was often not picked up because he was too small, would go back and dominate Quaffle, and then finally got his opportunity and has not stepped a foot wrong since then. Like Toby Green, has that don't give a shit attitude, and which can be mistaken for arrogance, is what I think. But what we don't see is the loving and caring he has for his teammates, in particular, the one player that we'll talk about after this too, who was in it, in Cam Rayner. The way he's there for his players, he'll run through a brick wall. He'll do anything for his teammates and anything to win. And there is nothing absolutely wrong with that. Let's get that clear. There is nothing wrong with wanting to win. We saw it. He's even competitive when playing cricket with his son, for goodness sake. But there is nothing wrong with wanting to win, because if you're not wanting to win, what are you doing out there, in my opinion? Then there's Cam Rayner, a really laid-back type of player, doesn't take things too much seriously, loves to have fun, but he's also a former #1 draft pick, and that means a lot of pressure and expectation is put upon him. And they talk about how that expectation has affected him, what it has meant in key moments when he's missed goals, in particular early on in his career. I can't remember what season it was, but then the big moment was the flopping, what I should say is the flopping situation while playing on Mark O'Connor in the goal square against Geelong in the qualifying final. He had been towered up by Mark O'Connor earlier on in the season in a defensive tagging role. So Geelong have identified Cam Rayner as that player they want to shut out the game, and they put their best defensive tagger on there in Mark O'Connor. Again, Mark O'Connor was on top of him. Cam Rayner says he's gone to the umpire and said, hey, I'm getting nudged, hit, knocked in the back, pushed over behind the ball, nowhere near the play. Please keep an eye on it. So the opportunity comes again. He gets a bit of another elbow to the back, and then he falls forward, gets a free kick. And what's the moment that you people would not have liked? And he even said, not many people will like this, but Dayne Zorko came into bat for him and said, not many people will like this, but if I get pushed in the goal square, I'm probably going to flop too for the free kick to get the goal. No one would expect that open honesty for someone in the game of AFL to admit that if the opportunity came, they would flop. I thought that was a big comment, especially in AFL when flopping is looked frowned upon. And Dayne Zorko just said, hey, if the opportunity comes, I'd do it too. So I thought that was a big statement to make. And he said it with chest. And then Cam Rayner, they came at him again and he got another free kick. But what didn't come was the social media attention that he got straight after it. And who was one of the first ones to touch base with him? It was Dayne Zorko. This is what I'm talking about with Dayne Zorko. While arrogance, people would not like him as opposition, he's there for his teammates. And then it comes to the grand final. He's probably having not much of an impact again, Cam Rayner. And they say, just go out and do you. It's all in your head. Just go out and play free. And he had a massive impact in that second half, as did most Brisbane Lions players as they started to run away with it and have a bit of party time against the Geelong Football Club. And then it brings it all the way back to the likes of Bontempelli, the likes of Toby Green, likes of this, likes of that. And Toby Green says, I will never get suspended again. I'm done. Really, Toby? Are you 100% going to promise that? Because I could put my money on it and you'll get a week somewhere. Well, and then he's gone out and said MT, because I'm pretty sure he said no fines as well in the doco. But then on his podcast on Oz American Aces with Tommy Sheridan and now new co-host Jeremy Cameron on TFG Tuesdays, he says, no suspensions, but I can't promise you fines. And I think that's fair enough because you can't promise that at all. But I thought that was an amazing thing, a funny comment as well to say. Now let's give it my rating. As an overall rating, I would say I really enjoyed this. It got me hooked. I got it done in, I think, 2 or 3 sits. And by Sunday, I was finished it all. So my rating for this is going to be a nice 8 out of 10 for Amazon Prime Videos. The final side inside the AFL. A nice 8 out of 10, I think, is a solid. What I would have liked to have seen, and this is me probably being biased, I would have liked another Victorian-based player in there. I thought someone, I know he's doing, and we'll review this as well, the rivals, but I would have liked someone, Collingwood biased me, like a Scott Pennebury in there, potentially. Someone like that from another Melbourne-based club. But I understand it was purely for the finals, and I'm not mad at all. People are going to hate this. Even like a Paddy Dangerfield, something like that. That could still be building. But all in all, it was a really, really good watch. And I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. How did you find the doco? Let me know in the comments what rating you would give it and what you would like to see different or what you enjoyed as well in the comments. But that's going to wrap up today's rating. Please, guys, if you're watching this video and did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video, as likes and comments are really, really playing a big favors in the algorithm. So let's make sure we smash the like and comment on this. Hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so you're notified whenever we upload. That's all for today, but until next time, I'll see you guys then.